a resist to control the painted area. You need to take a colored pencil and press firmly down on the paper, maybe going over your lines more than once, and go around the area where you're going to paint to sort of contain the paint. So you have to think carefully about where you're going to be painting. In this case, I went around all of the items in the middle of the room, as well as where the wall meets the floor. And now I'm ready to lay down the wash, which is a clear, clean layer of water, pretty thin, and you're just going to take your brush and spread the water around paper to create a wet area to apply the paint to. Then add small amounts of clean water to soften the paint. You'll notice that once you put the paintbrush onto the paper, the paint will spread out pretty quickly. So it's best to put it in the center of the area you wish to color, and then slowly push the colors to blend and fill in the space. If you've done a good job of resisting the areas with colored pencil, your paint won't go anywhere that you don't want it to. Also, the paint is only going to go where you put the water. So if you missed a spot, just use the paintbrush to kind of push the paint into that zone. You can add colors to the wet paint to create a soft blending effect. Here I've taken some yellow and some darker green to really make the water have some depth. You can make your own colors very easily by mixing the existing colors on the inside part of the lid. Just add a little bit of water and blend your colors. To darken a color, add a little bit of black. To lighten a color, add more water, or add water to the paper first to ensure an even wash. To paint small details and controlled areas, use less water in the paint and make sure that the surface you're painting on isn't wet. This is called a dry brush technique. Cleaning your palette. Cleanup is very simple with watercolors. Take your paper towel and get the extra water and paint out of the lid. This will ensure that when you close it, it doesn't get everywhere and that the next person has a clean palette that's ready to go. You will also need to wash your brushes just a quick rinse, and put them back where you found them. Tips for success. Plan ahead. Use colored pencils to keep your paint from spreading into unwanted areas. Don't be afraid to mix your own colors. Use a scrap piece of watercolor paper to test out new colors and techniques. You will need to use a combination of watercolor techniques in your final piece. Use wet on wet to create a wash of color. Use dry brush to create areas of controlled detail. And use layering to create a depth of color.